Hey, sometimes when I get on this bench, I almost fall off. Want to wish you a blessed Monday. It's good to be with you for the thought for the day. There's something about Monday mornings that I really enjoy because I try to get here early and I just look at the church and there's kind of stuff all over the place, bulletins, and I came in here and I had these 4 basketballs that I used for the children's sermon, the talking basketballs, and I was just thinking about when the kids come up here and they sit on the floor and they are so patient with my sometimes stupid stories. And yet, when I see the kids in church, whether it's up here or sitting on the laps of their parents or next to them, I can see the joy. Because kids, especially young ones, they love coming to church because you're nice to them and you engage them and they come up here and they get a little something in return. And I was just thinking what a nice thing it is when you're just a kid and you grow up in a church that exudes a little bit of joy and brings you smiles. And that is infectious, and hopefully that stays with them as they get older and they realize that God is their friend, that Jesus is their friend. And so I'm thinking a lot this morning about the word joy, because I've used that word to sign my letters ever since I came here, because one of you way back when used that word. And our words for this morning are from Joseph Campbell, when he says this: "We cannot cure the world of sorrows, but we can choose to live with joy." Which made me think, what does joy really mean in the biblical sense? Because happiness and joy are a little bit different. Because I think happiness is something that happens to us, that there are things and people in the world that make us happy. But joy is a little deeper than that, because joy is something that we choose. That even though we can't cure the world's sorrows, we can see joy in the midst of those sorrows. So I was thinking a little bit about choosing joy. I think about Ukraine, and I think about our brothers and sisters in Ukraine every day. And I think of the pain that they've gone through. And yet, in the midst of that pain, people like the president of Ukraine and a lot of the people who are there or have come here, they are able to find joy in little things, because joy is seeing that spirit of hope in the midst of all the stuff that goes on around us. You know, they can find joy in knowing that people like us care about them. They can find joy in the fact that people are standing with them. And so even though they may not be happy, but they can find joy in the midst of the conflict. And I even think personally, and maybe you can think of what's going on in your life, I think of the church, because in many ways, the past 2.5 to going on 3 years have been a struggle. And, you know, there are not nearly as many people coming to church, and sometimes it gets harder and harder to get people out and communicate and stay connected. And so I used to find happiness in the growing numbers, you know, but now I find joy in the spirit and the determination of so many of you to keep our church going. I find joy in little moments, even in the midst of being discouraged sometimes, and even in the midst of being worried. Joy is something we choose, because when you choose joy, you look for the hope. You look for what is positive in the midst of all that you're going through. Yes, joy is something we choose. And I even think of that couple that we've talked about, and we've helped out a little bit. And she's going through a journey with cancer, and in the middle of that journey with cancer, they got married a week ago. And there's a lot of things in that journey that does not make you happy. It makes you sad and makes you concerned. And yet they chose to see the hope in the love that they share. And joy was something they chose to make that journey full of hope and full of promise. And I guess I realized when I started using the word joy that maybe I didn't totally understand what that word meant. Because yes, you're not always happy, and I'm not always happy, and sometimes it's hard to find the joy. But when you choose joy, when you choose to look for the hope and the goodness at the heart and soul of our journey, wow, it gives us so much hope. That's why I hope these kids that come up here, that they will always be able to find joy in their journey. This week the sign says, light in the darkness. And that's who we are. There's a lot of darkness out there, and maybe more darkness than we would like. But we as God's children, that we as a church, we as just common, ordinary people, our calling is somehow to be the light in the midst of the darkness, and that gets us through and gives us that quiet courage to face the rest of today and what tomorrow's going to bring. Always good to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing you and waving to you on Wednesday morning. God bless.